All right, what's good, guys? My apologies there. Thing about streaming, man, is every time you think like it's going to start, you're ready to go. Something's going to go wrong. Something's going to not act right. And right now, my camera's doing this little fucking glitch thing. God, it's pissing me off right now. But we're going to make it through the stream because we got an interesting show for you guys tonight. As soon as people slowly getting into the chat room. Appreciate you guys joining. Let me just make sure my sound effects are
Oh
working.
my God!
All right. Sound effects are a little loud, but I mean,
Monster kill.
okay, that's a little low. All right. Just want to make sure everything's up and running. So I did have to restart my computer. To get everything running. All right, 1 second, because I'm about to open up the chat now. Chat is open, but I can't see the chat right now. So I'm about to go.
Sora 2 video generation is not available.
Right. I'm going to go to my page and watch just like you guys are watching. All right, 1 second. All right, looks like sound is working good. Yeah, what's going on, Big Onk? I appreciate you. Just wanted to make sure everything is working. Says I got 35 people in here. Y'all got to speak, man. I got 35 people in here, but y'all not speaking. So go ahead and speak. Drop some tickers in the chat room for me. I appreciate you guys joining. Please, no haters tonight, man. No haters tonight. No haters tonight. I just got an alert on something. I don't know what just happened, but I just got an alert. All right, no haters tonight. Yes, sir. I'm glad to be back, Pro Styles. Let's get the chart back up. Let me see here. I feel like my chart is out of the loop a little bit. Let me see. Is this better? Hold on. Transform. Ah, damn. It's still doing that thing again, though. Where it's like out of the loop a little bit. Hold on. So yeah, just bear with me. You see, I'm still figuring out. I gotta scrape the dust off me a little bit. I think it's better that way. It's a little better that way, but I gotta fix the other side, right? Yeah. Hold on. Damn, bro, this shit is irritating as fuck. Hold on. Let me see. I think it's Alt. Okay, just about that much. Ain't gotta be the whole thing. That's fine. As long as it fits in the damn screen. That's all I'm looking for. There you go. We're good. We're good. We'll run it from here. Yeah, man, I've been good, bro. I've been good living my life. You know what I mean? I had some issues that I was dealing with, but we're back now. We're back now, feeling good, feeling energized. You know what I'm saying? Your boy woke up to a nice little check from Black Box Stocks. They had been trying to send payment to an old account, and come to find out, I had like 11 G's at Black Box, bro. Because I had still had a bunch of videos, Black Box Stocks, people have been buying them. I had like $11,000 over there. And nobody from there called me or anything like that. They got my number. I think they got my number, or at least they got my email address. So I logged in. I just happened to log in, just seeing where's all my affiliate stuff? Where's everything at? Come to find out, I had like 11 racks over there. Oh yeah, we had been trying to reach you, blah blah blah. I was like, oh wow. So that was a pleasant surprise. You know what I'm saying? That was a pleasant surprise. That was a pleasant surprise. You know, my reaction was very much the same. So shout out to giving the fuck faster next. I was very happy for that. Yeah, that was a really nice boost. That was a really nice boost. But ladies and gentlemen, look, this show is about uh, what happened today, the announcement. We saw we saw gosh, what's the ticker? Blackstone drop almost 9% on that news. A bunch of those little REITs dropped. Now here's the thing though. Nothing officially has been passed here. One thing that I've learned about Donald Trump is that he likes to drop like filler news. He likes to like drop information and then see how the people react, and then that kind of that kind of gives him the insight whether or not he should move forward with a certain policy. Okay, so based on everyone's reaction with the news about stopping corporations from buying large amounts of homes, I can foresee this possibly coming down the pipe very soon because it's clearly got both sides of the aisle excited. Okay, you got a lot of working class Republicans that love this. You've got a lot of Democrats love this. This is something that they had been trying to fight for a while, but you know, again, playing politics, you had 2 years to do it, but they didn't do it. So now they're a little bit scared now because he's touching on a certain policy issue that makes him look very, very populist. Okay, makes him look very, very populist. Let me get my notepad out because I know I got some stocks that'll be affected by this if he does run, because I know he wants to deliver something before the midterms. We got a long way to go before the midterms, but let's be honest, they're climbing a huge wall. Okay. These Republicans are climbing a huge wall. They can't just run on, what's been going on in the stock market. Yes, very impressive. Okay. Very impressive, Mr. Trump, since your inauguration. Okay. It's been very, very impressive year. Besides that sell off back in April, which was just a bunch of profit taking. That's all. Little profit taking, and we're back up in the air. Okay. But I got to give him to him. That's a monster kill. Shout out to
Monster
Donald Trump. Okay.
kill.
He's been killing it. And I'm only following pretty much the NASDAQ because that's really the only thing that really matters. I put out a strategy for you guys to download in my last video. I put out that link for it. Bats, I'm going to send that to you if you're still watching, Bats. Yes, I'm back. No, I'm back, bro. I'm back. I streamed on Monday, streamed Wednesday, and I'm going to have another stream Friday. It's on Monday, Wednesday, Friday type of deal. Okay, just 1 hour as I kind of heat back up. Okay, as I heat back up. But trust me, we'll get back to the 4 to 5 hour streams. That may not even be necessary anymore, but we'll try to get back up there. Okay, right now I just want to heat back up, get used to the setup again. All right. But drop some tickers in the chat room, guys. I'm curious of what you guys are talking about right now. If it's pennies, that's fine. We can do pennies. Um, but I thought when I put out that strategy PDF that again I've been working on that for almost a year and a half. The data required to do those kind of back tests, it's like $4.99 a month, man, because you can't just do open close data. You need like 1 minute, 2 minute, you need all of that. Right. So I gave you guys uh something that I'm not going to sell for less than $250. I gave it to you guys that for free. And I have that strategy for that particular product, but I have it in a similar setup with many different other stocks. Very, very valuable stocks. Okay. And Bats, I want to show it to you. Bats, I know you're on X because I think I saw you today. I don't want to open up too many browsers because I got 24 gigs of RAM and this thing still acts like when I'm live, like I'm doing too much. But hold on. I'm going to hit you up from my new. Um, okay, 1 second. Um, okay, 1 second, guys. Market X. That's scientist. 'Cause I know I saw. Yep, the Kermit the Frog one. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna follow you, and I want to send you this PDF. That's, and I want you to check it out and tell me what you think. So go ahead and follow me back, Bat, so I can send you a message. Because I want to send you a message. You can give me your email so I can send you that PDF, or I could just send you that download link that I was using. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we've all been missing in action. Who hasn't been missing action more than me? Okay, who hasn't been missing in action more than me? Ooh, what is this? mRNA? Oh, Moderna. Okay, Moderna. Yeah, man, I haven't been following any of these pharmaceutical plays. Never been a fan of the pharmaceutical plays, but you love a stock that's coming up from, from nothing. Here's Moderna. So you're gonna have to fill me in on what's going on here. Who put that in the chat room? I love a move like this from coming from basically dead or alive. Uh, Beautiful MACD cross below the zero, below the zero line, and actually, and it was a legit move. It was a legit move. Using MACD, right? You're always looking for the cross over the under the zero line, particularly when we're talking about an upside move. And it's really nice if it's under the 200 moving average, like I did here, and it follows through, which is what this stock did. Okay, this thing is so beat up. It's got, it looks crazy even when I pull it back because it's been beat up for so long, but it has been trending sideways. As you can see, there was momentum coming back into the stock as it was kind of, you know, trending on that zero line, and you finally got a nice break. Okay, you had a break here, but never got back above the 200. Now you're back above the 200. So let's see if it actually sits and stays. But I like Moderna there. Looks very exciting. Okay. Let me just put some pivot high lows on there just to kind of see where we're looking at. And then I like to put my pivot high lows a little bit slower. All right, so you can go and in the settings and change it. And all I'm basically saying here is that I want it to be 10 to 20 bars. Okay, that's all I'm saying here. So, okay, so we haven't even gotten a new high, 35.59, but we closed above that today. So that should be setting a new pivot high on that. And then above here, 38.12. So we're breaking some recent highs on Moderna. So it looks very nice. It looks very nice. Just continue to follow the stock and see where it goes. But if you're in it, man, I like that for you. I like that for you. Okay, we got a troll in here
Get
already.
out of here, you damn nigger!
Get you out of here. But yeah, Trump agrees with that one, man.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. He approves it too. Let's keep on going. RKLX. What the hell? RKLX. Defiance Daily. What is this? I'm not sure what this is. Defiance Daily 2X. Of course, I see it's a leveraged ETF of some kind. But Defiance. Who's this supposed to represent? Let me know. You know, these stocks were very popular maybe a year or two ago when Bitcoin was really running. Remember, MSTR had all those leverage stocks in there. I think it was like MSTX or something like that. MSTR2X. Yeah. Okay. Yep. MSTX. Yep. That's what it was. Okay. These plays like this where you take an underline and it gets leveraged up. Microsoft had one like this. Um, MSFT2X. Is that still out there? Yeah, wow, it's still out there. Okay, here you go. Here's the Microsoft 2X. I've been waiting for this one to take off. It hasn't taken off like I thought it would. But I love that one. That one's a really nice one. Netflix has a 2X, I believe, as well. This one is actually, yeah, this one, it's not doing so hot as well right now. Oh, you're not. Oh, I don't know why I'm thinking you're a bad scientist. I don't know why I'm thinking you were actually him because you're using literally his Kermit the Frog logo thing. Hold on. Yeah, I'm thinking you're him, bro. Hold on, let me hit him up because I see him here on. Okay, let's see. Hey, bad. I just want to. All right, so I just sent him a message. Let's see, because I've been trying to hit him up. I thought you were him, bro. I thought you were him. Oh, Roblox. Oh man, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even think of Roblox. But again, not looking so good right now. You know, below that 200 moving average here. Let me get rid of that. I think I was tracking it sometime. Below that 200, you had that MACD cross. Um, and man, it followed through, right? A MACD cross in terms of a sell, right? We love a MACD cross above the zero line when we're looking to sell, and it followed through. And this was an incredible short if you paid attention to it. You got tested a little bit, but if you held on, and you would have been right to do so, although it did, kind of play on that zero line, but it did not fully cross over back positive, and it's been an incredible short ever since. It's been an incredible short ever since, but not doing so hot right now. Not doing so hot right now as it continues to set, lower lows here and not looking so good. I'm trying to learn Elliott wave, so I'm already seeing like some of these like little microwaves within a grand, one, A, B, C, and it's still continue to C wave. But I'm not there yet to really speak on it. But I'm trying to learn more about Elliott wave because some of that stuff is pretty right, you know. But then again, I mean, it's so clear of a sell. I wouldn't touch it at this point until we at least get some kind of instance that we've got a low end and we're trying to make some kind of move higher. Even looking at, I mean, we got a cross here, but it clearly hasn't followed through. There's been no attempt to kind of get back to the zero line under the MACD. Okay, what's going on, Woody? Right? Shout out to you guys in the building. All these long-term viewers, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys, man. Appreciate all of you guys, man. Supreme victory.
Supreme victory.
Shout out to all of you guys. Rocket Lab, okay. Yeah. Saw Rocket Lab. Now this one, I saw the news. Oh boy, this is beautiful. I gotta get into this space shit a little more often. I'm here waiting on Tesla to spin off their space division, and I should be jumping on this. Boy, look at that. Beautiful. Oh, God, this is beautiful. Touch 200. All right. MACD cross held and still holding. That is beautiful, man. You know, you get yourself a beautiful leap option here, going out, even 6 months, heck, even 12 months, and just sit and watch the money roll in. This is beautiful. That's a beautiful trade, man. Now, at this point, I mean, does it have more? I'd wait for a nice little pullback or something before you got in here. But man, that's a beautiful trade. That's a really, really good trade. I hate when I find these really, really late because now you're looking at like, damn, how much money you could have made, blah, blah, blah. But overall, I mean, even going back to 2024, it's just been respecting this 200 moving average the right way. Every pullback to the line has been rewarded handsomely for those traders who stuck their money, put their money out there. Okay. So yeah, get at me for those other runners if you got them. I appreciate that. I'm saying winning trade for you. Yeah, I like that. Matter of fact, I'm about to put that on my watch list because I need to learn a little bit more about what's going on there. And of course, if there's an opportunity for an entry, you know, $44 billion market cap. We understand what the potential is for space travel, right? It's almost unlimited amount of potential profit that could be there. And we, thanks to AI, are hitting levels we've never, achieved before. All right, somebody put in AVGO. All right, put your tickers in there. Put your tickers in there. You know what? Round of applause to you guys, man, because you guys are trading big now. You're not giving me the shitty little tickers. Back in the day, I kind of started getting old because, people were giving me the triples and stuff. And I'm not saying those aren't running, but man, it's just so tough to run those triples and double zeros now just because of, a lot of those guys are in sports betting now. A lot of those guys are, still chasing meme coin dreams. But many, many, many of your, 000 stock lovers, they're all in sports gambling now. That's where they're really blowing a lot of their money. That's where they're blowing a lot of their money. And man, I'd like to dibble and dabble, particularly if they're giving like some free bids or like free bets or $200 extra bet or whatever. I had bet on Louisiana. Was it Louisiana Monroe? Yeah, Coastal Carolina and Louisiana Tech. Yeah, Coastal Carolina, Louisiana Tech. Coastal Carolina was up 14 points. See, I do not bet on any game because my strategy is, again, I like high probability. So I need to be, I think it's called negative 250, right? I need to be like negative 250, and I need to have at least a difference of like 10 points, particularly in football. And I only bet football. So this team is up 14 points coming out of halftime, negative 250. I put in like $300. Let's see what happens. I think I was going to make like 95, something like that, plus my bonuses and stuff. 250 for 95. Okay, I've got a high probability of success, right? Because at negative 250, you're like 75% possible win rate. Tell me why. Tell me why Louisiana Tech came back and scored like 17 unanswered, bro. 17. I literally put my bet in, and Louisiana Tech just started scoring touchdowns. I was like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on? The other team had no answer, bro. No answer. And this was like maybe 2 weeks ago now. And I was like, you know what? This is why I don't play this shit. This is why I don't fuck with sports betting, because it's it's not it's not like stocks. It's not like options. It's not Black Scholes model when if I say it's 75%, it's a real 75% trade. With sports, it's not like that. You may say, oh, that's 75%. It's not 75% because they may come out and not want to fucking play. Do you know what I'm saying? The momentum just really could switch like that. That was crazy. That was crazy to watch, man. You said you blew your money on a house and a new car. Congrats for you. But I will never take sports gambling seriously like that. And there are guys who are making good money supposedly. Shout out to them, but bro, I can just never get it right. I can never be as consistent as I am in stocks with it. I just can't. You know. Again, I've got a strategy. I can 8 out of 10 trades. But who put out UPS? UPS was struggling for a long time because of their union thing they were going through. They recently let a lot of people off. Hey, if you want to retire, this is what we're going to give you. A lot of people didn't even jump to take the offer. Uh, there was going to be a shakeup of the U.S. Postal Service. They were trying to privatize that. All right, the Republicans really want to privatize the U.S. Postal Service. But that's an institution. That's an institution of itself that, uh, I know the federal government really wants off their back, but because there is significant amount of debt there, there's a significant amount of, um, what's the proper term for it I'm looking for? But money owed from government. I don't want to say, it's not called allowances, but there's a term for it. But when government owes, retirees, people who have disability payments, all of that. I mean, you got to understand, people who work for the Postal Service are federal employees. They are all entitled to federal benefits. You do your 20, you don't get a check like a military veteran, but you get on that COBRA for the rest of your life. Right? You get on that COBRA for the rest of your life, and we got people living longer than ever before. We've got some real problems facing us as a country. Let's say, look, by 2030, guys, by 2030, we're going to have 72 million Americans over the age of 65 by 2030. 72 million Americans. Okay? Of that 72 million, 33 million are over the age of 75. Okay? Now we've got a population decline, right? Because low birth rates. We've got this crappy fiat currency that's losing money, lost 10% last year, right? So people aren't having kids because it's hard to get excited about the future when every single month you're struggling with your bills, right? Women have children when they feel excited about the future, right? Or if they end up with a baller who's got a lot of money, now they're confident in having kids. But if they're not feeling confident about their economic situation or the economic situation of their partner, they don't have children. And that's why we have a decline in birth rates all over the Western world, because we have crappy currency, right? Crappy fiat currency. But I digress. At the end of the day, what are we going to do when we're paying 25%, right? 25 to 27% of the nation's population? We're paying them, two to upwards of $4,000 a month. Where's the money going to come from? So we've got some huge financial burdens that, let me tell you something, tariffs are not going to make up for. Tariffs are not going to make up for. Okay. Nike's been a terrible stock. Nike's been a terrible stock. And this is another one of those stocks that, again, I just feel like when people tell me the economy is good, I look at Nike and I say it is not good. You know, when you talk to the people who invest in Nike, they're saying it's the fakes. Oh, the fakes from China, and that could be a part of it. These fakes look really good now. 10 years ago, you bought one of them Alibaba shoes, they weren't that great looking. But now you go on, AliExpress, you look at some of those Jordan shoes fake Jordan shoes you can get for $35, $45 a pop. They look really good. They look really good. Okay. Uh, but Nike, again, very depressed, again, below this 200 moving average. Let me darken up the line to make sure you guys can see that. Okay, because I'm not sure if you guys see it on your side as well as at Warren's, but that's the 200 moving average there. Okay, that's the 200 moving average, and the stock's been, very, very depressed, very depressed. Okay, but Nike looks terrible. Nike looks terrible right now. Okay, and I'm not skipping any stocks, by the way. If you put us to the, oh shit, if you posted up a stock, yeah, Monster Kill for you, man.
Monster kill, kill, kill.
Love it when you guys post runners. Space Mobile. Okay, so this is a stock. Okay, not profitable, but then again, a lot of companies aren't profitable. Losing quite a bit of money here, but up 253% for the year, 15% year to date, 14% for the month. Okay, last 30 days, 14. Hold on, a week, 14% up this week. Boy, this is quite a runner. $31 billion market cap. For it to move that hard, that says a lot. Again, I'd love to learn more about the story here. I got to get into these space plays. I didn't think these space plays were really running like that. I got to find out what's going on. Look, I understand that NASA wants to go to the moon. I did see that a week or two ago that's really being put in motion. We know that NASA isn't NASA of the 70s, so we understand that it's going through these third parties, particularly SpaceX and maybe some of these other participants in the space. Okay, so that could be what we're seeing here. But do your research, please. Do your research, please. We're really going through these stocks right now. JCI, Johnson Controls. Johnson Controls, this is another one that really benefiting from the data center play because they do actually manufacture a lot of little small parts that go in these data centers. And, it's been a winner because of it. Okay, Johnson Controls. Huge play there. But they've been another data center winner for Johnson Controls. This is one of those, like, it's an old, not the most exciting stock in the world. I'm more than likely guessing either you're probably doing some kind of dividend thing with this, or because it's definitely not an exciting or very liquid option. From what I remember, it's been a while. Okay, it's been a while since I looked at that. But shout out, let me give you the Funk Flash and Lip Balm. Shout out to you for that. I appreciate it. I haven't looked at that stock in a long time. Okay, if you're watching my stream for the first time, please don't hesitate to subscribe. Please, thank you so much. Please don't hesitate to subscribe. Okay. Let's look at that. Let's take a look. Someone put CRWV in the chat. CoreWeave. Okay, CoreWeave is an interesting stock here. This is it's a relatively new company. Went public not too long ago. As you can see, the 200 line doesn't draw on it. This is a company that what's his name was really trying to go after. Meet Kevin. the financial influencer. He really was trying to dig his heels in that and put out a shameless short report on CoreWeave, basically saying that the stock is worthless and they didn't have any money and all kind of bullshit. But here's the deal. Uh, he's going over fundamentals, and what we know about fundamentals is that fundamentals lags price action, right? So if you're telling me that the company's broke and they've only got 3 months of cash on hand, we'd see that in the price action. We'd see that in the price action because the people who have the shares, who are investing the shares, they'd already be selling because that'd be information that they would already know. Okay? That they would already know. All right? We can trust as technical traders, you can trust that in price action, you are seeing individuals who have a lot of information, who are working that information and trading accordingly. All right. So using fundamentals, don't get me wrong, there's always a time and place for that. But you're behind. Okay, when we're talking about trading on fundamentals. Understand that it's a delay. And depending on how the stock moves, that can be a very, considerable delay. It was a stock that, again, one of my favorite shorts, and I always say the greatest pump and dump of all time, Beyond Meat. Okay, company was virtually broke for a long time, right? For a very long time. Okay, but being sold the idea it was going to be a turnaround story. People are going to really love fake meat. It's quote unquote healthier. Come to find out, it wasn't healthier. It was truly ultra processed compared to just eating regular beef. Okay. It was expensive. The company was spending like $25 for every dollar that they were actually getting from customers. You had a failed experiment with Burger King, a failed experiment with McDonald's. One of the greatest shorts that I've ever made money on, Beyond Meat. All right. And again, this was just pure technical analysis, just seeing that, hey, something isn't working here. Okay? Because the people who have inside information will trade accordingly. They will trade accordingly, man. Follow these people. Okay? I know you want to fall in love with these books and these numbers, and you want to kind of prove to yourself that you're intelligent and you know how to read the books. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy. Let the price action speak to you and trade it accordingly. Okay? What's going on, Dave? Appreciate you being here. Okay? Trump, I know you agree with that, right?
I'm Donald
Yeah.
Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah. He approves it. He approves it. QBTS. Let's go. D-Wave Quantum. Damn, here's another one that was real beat up and just turned around. Boy, this was a penny stock. Unless I'm looking at something that reverse split. But I'm seeing this stock was a penny stock going back to October of last year. What the hell do they do? B-Wave Quantum and scalable quantum systems. The hell is this? God dang. This is crazy, bro. This stock literally went from like a $350 million market cap to $10 billion in a matter of like 7 months. God damn. Yeah, that's nuts. I give you the Metal Gear alert on that one, bro. Yeah, you get the Metal Gear alert that one. Yeah. W in the chat for QBTS, man.
Another one.
Yeah, let me give you that, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, I just put that on the watch list too, because if it's, what I love about stocks like this is that if it turns out to be a dud, it's going all the way back to zero, bro. It's going all the way back to zero. I don't even know if this got options on there, but if this shit don't work out, whatever the fuck it's doing now, it's going right back to zero. Okay? It's going right back to zero. What's going on, Bill Betts? Qubits. Okay. It's going right back to zero. And I look, I get it. Quantum is big right now. Uh, that's another, you know, and I don't want to say it's nothing has to do with AI, but uh, there has been a lot of conversation that we could break quantum. There's a quantum computer available, but in terms of making it commercially accessible within the next 4 to 5 years, next 4 to 5 years. Okay. I know that there was a big fear around Bitcoin regarding, you know, quantum's ability to crack into wallets, particularly some of these Genesis wallets, these individuals who have wallets going back to 2010 that haven't been touched, including the Satoshi wallet. Okay. That hasn't been touched. Could a quantum computer break into that and steal into their Genesis wallet and take that coin? Okay. Obviously, we'd be able to watch and see where it went, but having that happen would really shake Bitcoin to its core. Okay. And you got some quantum resistant coins out there. I was looking at it. I think it's like QSL or something like that, which is a quantum resistant coin. I don't want to go into crypto now. That's not what my show is about, but just know there's like some kind of quantum. It's like quantum resistant SL or something, some weird coin like that. Let me just see. I guess now it's on the tip of my tongue. Quantum resistant ledger. Yeah, it's quantum resistant ledger. Yeah. Yeah, that's the ticker for it. Quantum resistant ledger. It's been picking up. All right. Well off its high, but it's been picking up. Looks healthy. Okay. Still very early in the game from quantum resistant ledger, but this is a coin I had looked at just because I'm a big fan of coins that have a very limited supply, right? And they don't plan on continuing to put more out there. But I believe it's a limited supply. Okay. But anyway, let's get back to what we were looking at. Okay. Yeah, what's going on? Yeah, getting back to this money, man, because I've been asleep too long, man. Been asleep too long. And there's so much money to be made on these markets every single day. Okay. Every single day, there's so much money to be made on the markets. It's absolutely insane how much of the markets is available, to be distributed to us, to be distributed to us. You know, I used to look at those traders who made like 15, 20, 25,000 a day, and I'm like, man, you full of shit, you bullshitting. But once you actually get your trading down, it's back tested. Now you're like, okay, I could see me doing that shit. I could see me doing that shit. Now it takes you know, a lot of balls. Okay, but once you got a back tested strategy and you know it's a winning strategy, then it's all about just making sure everything lines up that, it'll follow through. You know. Yes, sir. I'm glad to be back, ghetto stock trader. I'm glad to be back. You know what I'm saying? Ghetto stock trader, are you going under a different name? Feel like you were someone else.
Who's that Pokemon?
Yeah, who's that Pokemon, man? I feel like you going under somebody else, or your name was changed. Okay, just spent 20 more minutes with you guys, but again, AMD, AMD sending the wrong signal, even though The CEO came out. There's something so fucking stupid a couple days ago. Came out and said AI was not stealing jobs and all that. And they might be actually right because we did see on the jobs report, although it was a small miss, we did see 41,000 jobs get added. Okay, we see 41,000 jobs get added. So it was actually, you know, she was actually right on that. But that's not the kind of stuff you want to be out there saying because you want to say that you know AI is really hitting the bottom line, saving companies money. You know, you don't want to say it's not saving companies money and it's not getting people's most expensive line item on their budgets, which is HR, and it's not helping them bring that down. You don't want to tell people that. Okay, you don't want to tell people that. Okay, let me see what else. All right. Let's take a look here. Just added the four digits. Oh, okay. Just added the four digits. Okay. I recognize the name. I just wanted to make sure it was truly you. Okay. Darth Darth Kermit, if you're still in, because I saw your comment about Nike a while back. What do you see in Nike that makes you want to like buy that now? Because when we looked at the chart, not to dig back into it, but I mean, this is clearly not something worth holding, at least now. What are you seeing that? Because I'd like to know. I mean, I'm just curious, and sometimes you don't want to because you can get biased as a trader. I'm all about getting both sides of the story of any stock. I don't fall in love with these things anymore. You know, those days are long gone for me. When I fall in love with a trade or I fall in love with a position, those days are long gone for me. You know, and I'm sure for some of you guys as well. It's just a measure now of ones and zeros. Don't fall in love with any of these things. And losing is just a part of the game, right? I
Bruh.
mean, let's keep it 100. You need to for sure play NVIDIA 200 for February. NVIDIA 200 for February. I don't know about. I mean, yeah, I would do that. I would actually do NVIDIA 200 for February. I would actually do that because I still think we get the all-time high here. All right, I still think we get the all-time high here. I still do see 700 QQQ in front of us. Is the MACD looking great? No. MACD does not look so hot right now when I look at QQQ because you're actually looking at declining momentum, although it's showing it, and it's advancing in terms of price. We have been sideways for a little bit. Okay. Let me put those pivot high lows in there. We set that high 637 back in October. Okay. So I'd really love to see us set a new high like this week. That would be really, really nice. We got to it today at that 627 high, 627. But I would really love to see us kind of break through that, break 629, 630. Trump's announcement today with the housing thing didn't help. And because we were touching that, right? We were headed that way. But that had caused the market to sell off. But I'm not going to say head and shoulders just yet, but it's dangling. It's dangling. So a new high here, or at least breaking that most recent resistance level would be nice. Okay. Just to show the market that we still got room. All right, and we still got strength.
Supreme victory.
We would need that. I'm still with Black Box. J Dub, I'm still with Black Box. I can still log into Black Box. I'm still with Black Box. I'm still with cool with all those guys there. I still fuck with Black Box heavy. You know, Black Box now has what's that name of that indicator? Stop go. They got stop go now. If you guys are familiar with stop go, let me see. Is it still on Trading View? Stop go. They got Renko stop and go. Let me see. Stop and go. Is they still on this one? Looks like somebody tried to build it. Yeah, it's not operating the same. But yeah, they got a stop and go indicator now built into the platform. So you got the award-winning indicator, algorithm system, which is amazing. Okay. But then again, I don't trade like that anymore. But it's still good if you know what you're doing. But now with that stop and go indicator that they built in, it's literally, kindergarten. It's telling you when to buy, when to sell. It doesn't reprint, right? So it doesn't go from like, it told you go and it didn't go or something like that, and it reprints it. No, it's literally stop, go, stop, go. Okay. Um, Let me see here on this other browser. Black box stocks. And not to take the conversation in a different direction, I just wanted to see if I could show what that looks like. But yeah, they're doing some amazing things over there. They're doing some amazing things over there. Okay, with that stop and go indicator. Let me see. Draw add comparison. Where's that at? Pull crosshair, draw. Hold on, views. It's been a minute since I've been on because I just gotta. And they're always adding new stuff. Full screen, table view, crosshair, draw, no, add comparison, symbol, note, options, studies, most popular, mental money flows, no, study library. It's like, oh, go, no, go. Yeah, it's called go, no, go. Okay, go, no, go. Okay, it's called go, no, go. Yeah, it's called go, no, go. I forgot that's what it was called. Let me see if I can if I could just kind of have that put up there. Yeah. Okay, so you guys can see it a little bit. You guys can see it a little bit. I don't want to draw, but anyways, go no go. So it's kind of telling you like how to trade, and I just use the SPY. Okay, and then the indicator paints what to do. All right. So no go. All right. You can also use that to short, but then you have go where it's telling you, okay, this is a buy. All right. Go, which would have been a really great trade. Good God. Uh, okay, I'm losing control here because I haven't played with this. All right, but yeah, go no go indicator, and of course you can use it on a smaller time frame, like 10 minutes. All right, obviously you got to be quick with your hands on those, but it doesn't repaint. Okay, it doesn't repaint, but they're I mean they're doing some different shit over there. That's all I really wanted to show you guys. They're doing some pretty cool shit over there, and but again, you got to be in front of your computer like this. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in front of your computer like that to really make money uh, at Black Box. And I just didn't want to be in front of it like that all day because it can be very draining. But they making money over there, bro. They making money. I got a lifetime account with them, and I fucks with them heavy. Do you think companies should report each quarter or every a couple times for the year? Well, I mean, yeah, every company, public company on a reputable exchange should report every quarter. Yeah, every 3 months is very important. I like it every 3 months. Some people think every 3 months is too much, but no, that gives you a really good window, and it's short enough to where you can be able to kind of determine, whether or not things are going in the right direction. Right? CEOs don't like it because they always think that, well, if I just got hired, right, and I know my turnaround is going to take 5 years, you know, I hate that I have every 90 days to report to impress investors because the first couple of years they may not look good, and that means my stock takes a hit. So executives don't like it, but it's important for traders and transparency that you know, are able to identify whether or not a company's doing well or continuing to do well. For example, you know, earnings is the do or die for Netflix. Okay. All right. It's the do or die for Netflix. Right. What's the big thing for Netflix and earnings? Subscriptions. Are they? That's the big question for that period for Netflix. That's all anybody cares about. Did you make more subscriptions, right, than people canceled? Okay. They've had incidences in the past where Dave Chappelle's comedy show, where a bunch of people were like, "Yeah, we're gonna boycott Netflix." They ended up making more, right? If you remember that year, ended up being some of the best things that ever happened to Netflix. Dave Chappelle, right, creating I think 3 or 4 specials for them, right, irregardless of the LGBT boycott they had put out and all that stuff. All right, it basically virtually had no effect on the stock. It virtually had no effect on the stock. Okay. So that was a powerful, so earnings is a powerful reminder and an opportunity for companies to deliver clarity and say, hey, things aren't as bad as you think, or hey, things are as bad as you think. Right? One recent company that was killed by earnings was SMCI. Okay. SMCI was a stock that, you're showing $30 a share now, but remember, this is a stock that Ford split, so it was in the thousands. It was in the thousands, and the company was a high flying stock, but the earnings weren't delivering. People were like, okay, what's really going on here? People started looking deeper and asking more questions, and sure enough, price action came back falling down. Okay, if we move to something where now companies only delivered once a year, I mean, you know how many scams we would have out here? We'd have so many scams. Okay. But just going back to, what Jim was talking about Nvidia, I would do it. I would do it. I would do that 200, but boy, man, ugh, it's always hard to call the future, but you know, I think we've still got a lot of profits still be made in Nvidia. I really do. I really, really do. Let's look at some other plays that somebody put in the chat room real quick, and then I'll let you guys go. Not a fan of GameStop anymore. Look, I know that white knight that flew in. What's his name? Ryan something. He's supposed to be the Chewy turnaround guy. He hasn't made it happen with GameStop. Okay, There was some pumps here and there, but he hasn't made it happen. I don't think he is going to make it happen. I think the market is completely passed by GameStop. I think GameStop is going to zero. The market for gaming has changed. Nobody gives a fuck about their little collectibles. Okay, no one gives a fuck about their little Pokemon cards and all that shit.
Who's that Pokemon?
Nobody gives a fuck about none of that shit, bro. Okay, nobody giving a fuck about that. You're not spending 5,000 on a Pokemon card. Don't get me wrong. There's some people doing it, but that's it's bullshit. GameStop will eventually go to zero in due time. Okay, they're closing stores. I saw a GameStop near me, close down. I'm not impressed with that business any longer. You go into GameStop. You remember when you used to go into GameStop and they actually had a shitload of games everywhere? You wanted to trade. You wanted to look at the used games, right? They had a huge like used game section. What does it look like when you go into GameStop now? They got all them fucking collectibles all over the floor and shit. Come on, man. They've lost their way. They don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Funk Flex some next one, Funk man. They don't know what they're doing over there. PBF Energy. I'm not a fan of the energy stocks right now, just because look, since Trump came into office, crude is down like $20 a barrel. Okay, have you noticed that? So I'm not a fan of oil, and I don't see what people see in oil stocks. Okay, I marked this a long time ago because I really wanted to track to see where it was at. Okay, remember Trump takes office here. Okay, Trump takes office here, and oil is at what, $76 a barrel? We're at 56 now. So I was right. I was smack damn on. He's $20 a barrel lower. Shout out to Trump for the lower gas prices. Right now, not everybody's seeing it as low as we should. It should be a lot lower, and a lot of these, oil companies are keeping it in the twos, the high twos, when it could honestly be at much lower twos, much lower twos. Okay, much lower twos. All right. But he's been doing a great job. He's been doing a great job. Shout out to you, President Trump. I'll give you that.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Yeah, I know you do. I know you do. Yes, sir. Oh, what's going on, Jeff? Shout out to Jeff, man. Jeff, let me go ahead and give you the Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar!
Yeah. Appreciate you, bro. Long time no see. Always heard you've been battling some things. Yeah, but I'm bouncing back. Absolutely. Keep pushing it. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. You know. Absolutely. Look, I'm always going to keep it real with you guys, man. Always going to keep it real with you guys. Nobody's faking over here. We're still working on getting that $1 million portfolio. I hope you guys downloaded that trading strategy that I sent out. I saw like over 39 people downloaded or something like that. So a lot of you guys had it. I'm going to be selling that for $350. I gave it to you guys for free because you showed up on my stream on the first day back, man. I'm so grateful for all of you. Seriously. You know.
What the fuck?
Yeah, appreciate all of you guys, man. You know, for showing up. What the fuck is exactly what and how I thought about it. Like, God damn, these guys showed up. I left such an impression on them that they showed up after so long of me even being active. You know, so shout out to you guys. Absolutely. And and if we're gonna make it, we're gonna make it the spot again. Again, it's just me being consistent, but I love the fact that I'm not burnt out anymore. You know what I'm saying? I'm a little older, I'm a little wiser. You know, I'm not gonna push bullshit. Okay. I'm not in the whole ghetto $350 apartment anymore. So I don't need to push bullshit. There was a point in time you guys are watching. I had to push bullshit because your boy was hungry. Your boy had to make rent. You know what I'm saying? Your boy was driving a 1998 Pontiac Grand Prix, which I actually low key missed that car because that shit, man, that if you've never had that 3800 engine, oh my God, it's so beautiful, beautiful. I actually missed that car low key. Isn't it crazy? You start making money, you get start making a little bit of money, you get a decent or a better vehicle, but you actually missed the car that you had when you didn't have shit. All the cars that I had when I didn't have shit, I missed those. Even though like they were all pieces of shit, and I would buy them at the auctions for like $300 to $600. My first car, 95 Subaru Legacy, had an oil leak, trans leak. So I had to go to I'd have to go to the Dollar Tree because Dollar Tree sold oil back then. So I'd go to Dollar Tree every like 3 or 4 days, buy oil, and I'd put that in. After that, I got what I get after that. I got a Toyota. It was some kind of Toyota. Toyota. It was like a two-door. Like it looked like a Chevy Aveo, but it was a Toyota. But it was a stick, and I rode in that for like 3 4 months. That one actually rode really good and had no problems with it. It had super high mileage. But the girls, like, it was scaring girls off. Like, it was staring because girls, like, they'd come in and they'd feel like I could tell we call it in the military. You know, in the military, where if you wear glasses, they call them birth control glasses. It was a birth control car. You know what I'm saying? It was a birth control car. It was preventing me from getting access to pussy. So I had to get rid of the car. Even though in hindsight, I wish I hung on to it because that shit was getting like 47 miles to the gallon. All right, but it was a stick. You know, I wasn't driving it like the best. You know what I'm saying? We'd be going to dinner. I was going to dinner with this girl, and we would be like at the light doing this shit. Like, oh my God, like I wasn't going to get pussy at the end of the night, bro. Like you're like, if you're driving a stick and you're fucking up the stick, you're not getting laid, bro. You're not getting laid. And that was the problem, bro. I wasn't getting laid. Uh, I ended up selling that car. My next car was I went older. It was a 1995 Lincoln Mark 7. Lincoln Mark 7. Boy, that shit was a beast. Oh my God, that car was a beast. That was my first V8 car. That car was my first V8. Oh my God, that car it just rode like a dream. But the problem is that it was a 95, and this is like 2008, 2009, and just little things here and there, the electrical, and it was just adding up. But man, if I could ever get myself another 95 to 98 Lincoln Mark 7, I think it was a 7, right? Lincoln Mark 7 is what it's called. Boy, man, beautiful engine. Beautiful, wonderful horsepower, beautiful, wonderful space. It was another car that, like, wasn't necessarily the babe magnet because, like, it looked like a 95. But man, like, I could drive that car anywhere. I could have gone to California with that car. I could have driven to California with that car. But again, it had little things here and there that wasn't working. Uh, but I miss all those cars, man. METC, Ramco Resources. Yeah, Juggernaut, you put all these energy companies in there. Let me know what's your mindset? What's your thesis on energy? And I showed you again that we're down $20 since his election. He wants lower prices. He just told you yesterday that he's got Venezuela shipping 20 million barrels directly to the United States, and that we're going to be controlling it, right? So that's a lot more liquidity uh, a lot more, not liquidity because we're talking about oil, but a lot more production, right, in the market. So that means more, even lower prices. I wouldn't say higher prices. I would think that would mean lower prices. Okay. And again, speaking on Venezuela, y'all not getting y'all country back. All you Venezuelans, y'all not getting y'all country back. Y'all are going to become the new Puerto Rico. If they can figure out how to keep those borders closed, hell, they might not even care. You might just be a satellite state. You're just, we just exploit you. That's basically what happens. Neocolonialism, that's what it's called. We just exploit you forever, and you never get free. Okay, you never get free. You just get exploited forever. All right. Anyway, guys, let me go ahead and let you guys go. It's been a really good conversation. We looked at a lot of tickers, a lot of opportunities to trade, a lot of stocks. I know you guys are doing your own things, but thank you for just kind of coming in here and having a conversation with me regarding these stocks. And we're going to just keep following them every single day. Okay? Keep following this market every single day because it's changing every single day. Money to be made every single day. Okay? If you don't have, God, I knew I should have kept it up because I really wanted you guys' opinion on my trading strategy. I should have kept it up for you guys to be able to download because it's not up there no more. Because I took it down because I didn't want, and by the way, yeah, if I give you guys that trading strategy, please don't give it away to anybody else. Understand, like I'm giving it to you just to kind of like, see what you think about it. But as in any trading strategy, if you like it and you're going to be using it, you don't want to give it to a million people because if it gets too popular and it's actually starting to be used and start being caught by, some of these algorithms, then it gets played out. You know, it could get played out. And some may say, "Oh man, it could never get that big with that many people." Well, if it's making money, they gonna use it. You know. You said you should have tried futures a long time ago. Futures a long time ago. You know, I've looked into futures. I've looked into futures. Oh, man, if I could do my trading strategy using futures, I would, because I love the fact that one, futures is leveraged. Um, you know, I can see how you make money, but the problem with futures is that it does almost require you to kind of go with the ride, either up or down, because it leans towards you sitting in a position for quite long periods of time, um, particularly if you want to be highly accurate. And if you're not really good with um, if you're not really good with price action, you can really get fucked over in futures. Like those losses can really, really add up if you're very poor with your price action. But futures is really good if you're a trend trader. If you're a trend trader and you've got, you're looking at, uh, I know it's not NDX, but what's a futures ES? I know it's ES, but what's for Nasdaq? I think. But let's just use ES. Okay. Yeah, you're a trend trader. This is the E-mini futures, right? You're willing to sit in there for a long period of time. You got some money to just, you can make, this is a lot of money. Imagine this is a lot of money. Okay, using the futures. Okay, if you're ready to ride those up and downs, Jeff, I believe you 100%. I believe you 100%. And it's something I need to take a second look at. You know, futures has no PDT rule. No, you trade as much as you want, as little as you want. There's a lot of advantages there. It's almost like trading forex. Uh, But it's futures brokers tend to be a lot more liquid and better managed than forex. And, I've always said the forex side, it gets so shady with these foreign exchanges and all that stuff. But I mean, these futures brokerages, they're a lot better capitalized because it requires a lot for them to be able to, you know, to have access, uh, to these exchanges. All right. London session is more like reverse. Okay, I believe you. Yeah, I believe you. Yeah, it's a different beast, but again, if you know what you're doing, futures can be very, very lucrative. Very, very lucrative. Okay. Yeah, for those guys who are still lingering, let me see if I can I, let me see if I can, let me see something. I want to see if I could give that to you guys real quick just to see what you guys think about it. And I gave you the yeah, I gave you the downside. This upload has been shared. It's only for visible to you. Okay, let's go. Can I hold on? Let me see it because I wanted you guys to see it. Rename, stop sharing. Okay. All right. Let me see this. Okay, I'm gonna put it in. You guys, I gave you the downside because we don't get a lot of downside in the NDX. But let me give you guys this. Here's the file, and it's a clean file. So don't worry about it's not. You just pull it up and read it. Just pull it up and read it and tell me what you think. All right. And again, don't put it out there too. Don't put it out there. NDK. What is that? NDK. Oh, SNDK. And tell me what you think. But that's kind of how I'm trading now. I'm doing a lot of probability right now. I'm doing a lot of probability. I love probability. Not saying that you still don't look at indicators, but please, you definitely do. Oh man, this shout out to you putting this on there because this is another. Is Micron running because of that too as well? Yeah. So SNDK, MU, all of these memory makers now because there's a memory shortage out there because all of these chips need memory. So you've got huge delays right now in memory, right? DDR5, DDR6. Now, if you got older rigs, DDR3, anything less than that, even DDR4 for the most part, you're good, right? But I have been seeing DDR4 memory go up in price, which is interesting. But DDR3 is still dirt cheap. But yeah, if you're looking for DDR5 memory and all that, some of you guys who you're buying these latest and newest computers with DDR5, DDR6 memory. Yeah, if you're looking to upgrade, them sticks are expensive. Them sticks are very, very, very expensive. And MU and SNDK have been running hard because of it. Unfortunately, I missed out here. I missed out on both of these, but had money play both different places. But man, look at that move. Micron was nowhere. It was going nowhere for years. All right, Micron was going nowhere for years. Look at them now. They're making a lot of money. Profit margins have expanded grossly because of this demand from the AI side. They can't get enough. All right. They can't get enough. And we're still continuing to build more and more data centers that calls for more and more memory. Okay. More and more memory. Guillermo, what do you mean by scarcity strategy? What do you mean by that? Are you talking about the file that I gave out? Because it's definitely not a scarcity strategy. Okay. It's not a scarcity strategy. Okay. It's not a scarcity strategy. But to put that report together, man, it took almost 6 months because that data is so expensive. You know, trying to get data from 2000 by the minute, boy, it's like $4.99 a month. It's like $4.99 a month for some of that data. And but I put that report together, and I got a similar report for several different stocks. Like I've got one where I identified an NVIDIA strategy, and I don't want to put too much information out there, but basically it's an NVIDIA pullback strategy that it's almost like 90% win rate. It's absolutely insane. You know, uh, thank God and thanks to AI, you can build algorithms that can now you feed, you feed the data to these algorithms. You can build an agent, rather, excuse me. You can build agents, right? I've taught myself how to build agents that can identify certain trading strategies. All I've got to do is buy the data and feed it to the agent that's constantly looking day after day after day for things that I can do. And that's one of the strategies that I found, which is a high probability, um, what's called mean reversion, because that's what I just shared with you guys. Is called a mean reversion strategy. Mean reversion. Guillermo, yes, yes, yes. It's a scarcity thing, but it's not intentional. It's not intentional. There's real demand for memory right now. And again, there's tons of articles on that out here. I mean, there's real demand for memory, real serious demand. Okay. Yeah. Real serious demand for memory out there right now. Okay. It's real. And these companies are making a lot of money because of it. A whole lot of money. All right. So yeah, guys, I don't want to keep you guys too long. I don't want to burn myself out too early. I'll be back Friday. It'll be a chicken and beer episode. I don't know if I'll have beer, but I definitely will have definitely some fried chicken. I'm in the mood for some fried chicken. I'm doing everything possible right now not to go out and get me a box of Popeyes because I've been running. I've been running after the market closes. I go out and run for 2 miles, trying to get my little 10,000 steps. 3 miles, yeah, 3 point something miles. But boy, I do want a box of chicken so bad, man. Whoa, I'd be looking at that 12 piece, that 15 piece. Oh yeah. But I can't be like that, man. If I want to make it to 65, 70, 75, can't do that. So I'm making my own little chicken breast at home, and my you know, eating a lot more lettuce, uh, staying away from that processed stuff that contains a lot of preservatives. You're going to eat meat, at least eat it at home, because then you don't have the preservatives. So I'm learning that. I'm learning that. Okay. Yes, sir. So thank you to everyone. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much to everyone. Appreciate you guys. Uh, happy trading. Happy trading tomorrow. And tell me what you guys think. Tell me, guys, what you guys think about my trading strategy, man. When I come back on Friday, I was hoping. That's why I gave it on Monday, because I was hoping we'd have a pullback and you guys can paper trade it and see how it works. But we haven't gotten a pullback on the Nasdaq yet. So because I want to prove to you guys that it works. Because we're due a pullback here on the Nasdaq. You know, although that's why. And last Friday would have been perfect, but it's all good. But we should get a down day here soon, right? We should get a down day here soon so you can paper trade it and kind of see how it works. Or just use your mind. I mean, use your mind and see if you would have did the trade, would it work? When we do make that, when it does, sell off below that level, uh, does it make it a winning trade? Okay, and that back test shows that it does. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thank you so much. Take care. W's in the chat, man. Appreciate you. Funk Fraction All right. Allahu Akbar.
Allahu Akbar!
Yes.